Hello, everyone. Greetings from Feng Shui Journey, YourChiWiz. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are going to decode everything Chinese New Year. It's a celebration of tradition, unity, and prosperity. Thank you so much for all those who are joining. I put in the chat earlier. Feel free to leave your comment or question. I have a few people eyeing the chat and making sure that we can address all of your questions. For those who don't know me, my name is Harry, your Chi Whiz from Feng Shui Journey, classically trained Feng Shui practitioner specializing in Chinese astrology, flying star anything, and decoding anything that's related to Chinese astrology, feng shui, and anything that's symbolic in nature. As we go into this session here, I want to make sure I call this out for all of you who have already purchased the Year of the Wood Snake forecast, as well as a new product this year. It is the monthly Chinese Zodiac luck pillars by zodiac sign. So if you are the year of the snake, you can buy just your snake forecast, use the promo code CNY 2025 to apply your 20% discount. A lot of the information I'm sharing with you today gives you the high level of everything that we are going to decode. A longer, more detailed version of this is also in both of the forecasts. So visit fengshuijourney.com to find out more. Now, let's get into this. Today is a very auspicious day. I chosen this day specifically because it is the day of the rooster. We are also presenting in the hour of the snake. This morning, because this is the eve to Chinese New Year, I started my tradition with my altar table, making prayers to my Buddha, as well as the ancestor. So picking your auspicious day is very important when it comes to symbolism in Chinese culture. We start the Lunar New Year at midnight tonight, wherever you are, January 29th. That is all based on the moon cycle. We are in the second new moon of the right after the winter solstice. It's very symbolic in nature because the Lunar New Year is always tied to a Chinese zodiac animal as well as an element. Each Chinese zodiac has its own energy. We will rely on the energy of the year to really help us plan our intentions, plan our feng shui cures, remedies, and enhancers, and really understand the zodiac in terms of its friends, its allies, as well as conflicting animal. Then we have a different calendar, which is called the Feng Shui New Year calendar. That starts on February 4th, and that is all tied to the solar calendar. So we're talking about flying star energy. We are talking about locating the certain area of the Dai Su and the three killings, making sure that all of our Feng Shui remedies and cures are in place prior to that. My tip of advice is always 2 to 3 weeks before we get into the Lunar New Year or the Feng Shui calendar, you are starting to shift the energy. We've seen the universe shift its energy already, seeing all the wildfires in California. Then we are having different weather streams. Recently, in the last 2 days, Florida in the United States had tremendous snow, unusual for a state that is usually always warm and hot. So we're really talking about the energy alignment of space, but the energy also comes in your home. In Feng Shui, we call that the mouth of the Qi. The mouth of the Qi is the energy that flows and permeates into your home from your front door. When we dissect Feng Shui calendar, Chinese astrology, and link it all together, we really want to make sure that the energy flows smoothly. And going deeper into everything when we think about the Lunar New Year, as we welcome in the wood snake, we are also in period 9 Feng Shui. Period 9 began on 2024, and it will end around 2043 going into 44. It is marked by the fire energy. And fire energy, based on the Wu Xing 5-element theory, goes deeper into the authentic meaning of each element. So for today's session, I figure it's going to be very important to give you a high-level understanding of the wood, the snake Chinese astrology, and what we can expect in period 9 over the next 20 years. Again, these are my perspectives. These are perspectives of my teaching as well as my mentors when we think about classical feng shui. Now, let's think about the wood element itself as well as tying to the snake. When we think about the five element theory, we have five different elements. Part of that element wheel, we have elements that are going to be in conflict, that are going to be supporting, and they are generating in similarities. So the wood element itself represents growth, creativity, expansion, abundance, and renewal. So when we think about the energy of this year, it's about transformation. It's about relying on creative and innovation. It's relying on anything that you want to grow personally or within your family, people who are looking to expand their family. The year of the snake is a great year to add more children to your family. For those who are looking to start something new, whether it be personal growth, whether it be a renewal, connecting into a spiritual belief, it is a great year to do that because that is also being supported by period 9 energy. When we think about the element wood itself, it has its own direction, color, and shape. So anything that is tall, vertical, and rectangular form will support the element of wood. When you work with a feng shui practitioner, and if you hear somebody say, you need to add more wood into your space, you need to look at wood colors. This is what I'm referring to. Tall, vertical, rectangular forms, whether it be an object you are displaying in your home, whether it be from green plants that you are bringing into your home, the wallpaper, the patterns that exist on your pillows or throws, those are all very important in driving the energy of the wood. The color green is very significant to the wood element itself. And there are also elements or shades of teal that you can also incorporate into wood. Now, the direction that is associated to wood is in the east sector of your home. And the east is representing family and health. And you also have the southeast, which is wealth and abundance. Depending on what practice of feng shui, you can also find the direction of the east and the southeast by laying the Bagua map and using BTB practice for that. But if you do flying star energy and you look at the sitting in the facing direction of your home, the location of the east and the southeast will vary. For more information on that, feel free to message me and follow me on YouTube. I'll have a presentation about dissecting your floor plan with the Bagua. Now, the season that is associated to the wood is spring. And when we think of materials and objects that you can enhance the wood element, we are going to reference plants. There's a lot of feng shui plants there. Bamboo is a great plant. It also incorporates the 5 element theory, where depending on the type of vase, it's in water, if you're putting rocks, gemstones, crystals, there's many different elements that you can bring into one plant that will harmonize your space. You can look at feng shui trees. You can look at wooden furniture, and then also the materials that you use in your home, etc. So wood is a very, very interesting element that we can really work with. Now, with every other element like the fire, the metal, water, they also have a similar property where it has its own shape, color, direction, season, and then the different types of material. Now, the one thing that we want to really caution, and when we think about elements in feng shui, every Chinese zodiac has its element. I mentioned that earlier. So depending on the wood element, we are in the wood snake year. If you are a wood zodiac animal, how is that interaction going to play? What is that energy going to be like in 2025? It's really talking about the severity of the opportunities, the severity of the challenges that you may face. It's the degree of magnitude of each element. So when you have fire and wood, wood and fire, what is that relationship? How do we dissect that further? How do we put in the right remedies to help make that relationship between fire and wood working well with one another? Now let's shift gears a little bit. Of the 12 zodiac animals, the snake is the 6th animal in the Chinese zodiac. It starts off with the rat, goes into the ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, etc. If you don't know the history of the rat race, feel free to go on YouTube. There are so many channels there that really goes into the details of understanding the Chinese zodiac and how the emperor decided which animal land first with the rat race. The snake itself is very symbolic to wisdom, mystery, elegance, and it's about transformation. So when we think about the snake zodiac, we're also thinking about resourcefulness, being sophisticated, charming, intuitive, and being thoughtful. So on how are all these characteristics put together to really describe the energy of the wood snake? The snake energy itself is going to bring a lot of transformation. It's about emphasizing a strategy, having the right resources, and that could include mentorship, that could include, scholastic resources, business partner support. Depending on what practice you are, what are you looking to enhance in terms of your intention, we would look at the resources allocated to that. Later on, we'll talk a little bit about the Bazi chart for the year of the snake. And the one thing that is actually missing in that Bazi chart is metal. And metal in Feng Shui is a form of resource. How do we make sure we have enough resources in our own Bazi chart, which is the 4 pillars of destiny, in the support system that we have in that chart, in our home, in our business, in our office, and making sure that the 5 elements itself is working conducively with the Chinese zodiac itself. Now, each animal itself also has compatibilities and animals that are in conflict. So when we think about conflict, the animal that is in conflict with the snake this year is the pig. And the compatibility of the snake is the ox and rooster. So generally, you can assume that the ox and the rooster zodiac will have favorable months this year as we think about that. The animal that's going to see a lot of challenges and difficulty will that be of the pig. However, as I've mentioned in other videos, Feng Shui is complicated. Not only are we seeing just the allies and the conflict animal, that we can assume that the pig is just going to have a bad year. Now let's talk about the element. Depending on your element of the pig, how is that going to interact with the wood? Then we go deeper and really take a look at the cardinal direction of your home, the layout of your home. So, as I mentioned, it's complicated. Decoding Feng Shui involves a lot of inter-perspectives of how you can think outside of the box and really make Feng Shui work for you. I have a lot of clients who are like, Harry, I don't want anything in my home that's Asian. That's okay. You don't need to have an image of a dragon. You don't need to have vases. You don't need to have fans as decor, as the supporting or the neutralizing object to change the energy. There are many different ways that we can bring in modern technique, modern design to really help the taste of each individual, each client based on Feng Shui practices. Now, the snake's lucky direction is the southwest and the northeast area. So for some snakes out there, depending on what year you were born and what element, this may be true, that the southwest and the northeast is the most auspicious lucky direction for you. Again, we'll have to decode it based on the time you were born, the day you were born, the month you were born, and the year you were born. Having the analysis of those 4 numbers will help me as a practitioner decode the 4 Chinese zodiac animals that are in your Bazi or your 4 pillars of destiny. That is the footprint, that is the roadmap to really analyze and understand deeper what the destiny is for each one of you out there based on those 4 dimensions. Each dimension, day, month, hour, and year has its own significance, has its own meaning as well. When you set up time to do a Bazi, that's what we'll go through. Going deeper, there's also elements of luck periods. Which is going to be the most auspicious year for you? If those who are planning to start a business, those who are starting a family, you can take a look at your luck pillars and really take a look at which years, which month, which animal is going to be in your favor to really drive everything that you really need to know and tied to your Chinese Zodiac animal. Now, you've heard me mention about period 9. So, period 9 energy is all from the Li Gua or the Li triagram. In Feng Shui, there are 9 guas. Each gua has its own element, has its own meaning. So, the 9 itself is very significant as a number. We're going to decode that in a few minutes. But then, when we think about the 20 years, what are we going to expect? Fire itself symbolizes transformation, high energy, passion. It's all tied to technology, inspiration, spiritual enlightenment. Period 8 had its own different significant meaning, right? While technology was also booming in period 8, we saw the emergence of AI, but then it was also a period of real estate and investment. When we go in and think about the Li trigram itself, it is also related to the middle daughter, highlighting feminine energy, leadership, and nurturing qualities. You've heard out there on the internet and from other feng shui practitioner, the rise of female dominance, the rise of female in power. We are going to see this because the Li trigram is related to the middle daughter. Period 9, we're going to see the empowerment of women, the empowerment of more females in leadership, holding higher positions, leading charge in projects, leading the family itself. It's also significant for spiritual awakening as well. Ability to connect with your own intuition, understanding your beliefs, and really trying to go through a period of self-discovery. The dragon year itself was really fierce. Dragon is the only mythical zodiac animal out there. All of the other 11 animals are real animals, right? As we start to transition into the snake, we're going to see the shift in energy. We've already talked about it. The shift of the powerful energy of the dragon. What is it going to be in 2025? It's not going to be innovative. It's not going to be fast-paced. It's not going to be high energy like it was in 2024. We're going to see a steady shift of calmness, a steady shift of slowness, of ease, of strategy, of being intuitive into our decision making, our plans, anything that you really want to do. Now, the significance number of 9 being in the Chinese culture, in the Vietnamese culture, number 8 and 9 is always auspicious. But when we think about a numerology perspective and we add the digits together, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5 gives us the powerful 9. 9 symbolizes the end of a cycle. After period 9, 2045, we begin period 1, right? So it goes from 1 to 9. We are at the closing chapter of ending period 9 in 2044. The number 9 symbolizes new beginnings. It symbolizes opportunities for us to really embrace change, transformation. You've heard that word quite a bit already. So we're really encouraging teamwork, community work, healing relationships, contributing to the greater good, philanthropy, making donations to whatever charity. And we're not just talking about financial donations, we're also talking about donation of time and energy, going down to the food bank, making sure that you go to your Buddhist temple, having support in the kitchen or sweeping their floors. It's donating your time and energy for the greater good. It's also a time to really reflect on your inner growth. Spiritual alignment, I think there's going to be a boom in feng shui, in numerology, in astrology, whatever you believe in, whatever you practice, that natural spiritual enlightenment is going to increase as we think about period 9 and making sure we are connected to our higher being, our intuition. I always say in Feng Shui, at Feng Shui Journey, it's about mind, body, and soul, and really making sure that there is the balance of all three to create harmony. Now, I've given you a lot of context. I've given you a lot of information that will need to be decoded even further for you to really understand Chinese astrology, 5-element theory, classical feng shui, BTB feng shui, understanding its similarities and differences. Within the year of the snake forecast, I dissect all of that for you. It will be a great reading for you. It is a great resource because that information doesn't change year over year. What really changed is about the flying star energy. It's about the energy of each zodiac animal. It's the energy of each element. That changes because every year it's a new element, it's a new zodiac animal. Now, going into tradition, I love tradition. I've highlighted here some 4, most common traditions when everybody celebrates the Lunar New Year. It's about family reunions, having a get together, celebrating with music, lots of decor, lots of symbolic, clothing to decor, from the types of food you eat. It's about time together. Giving the hongbao, the red lisi envelopes, the red Chinese money envelope, there are many do's and don'ts about that. Follow me, YourChiWiz, on Instagram. I have a couple of videos coming out that will showcase the do's and the don'ts of hongbaos. And it also really ties into the money that you keep in your wallet. I give huge kudos to all the designers out there who started to bring out the vertical wallets. In feng shui, when you put money in your wallet, you never want to fold it. You always want to keep the money flat, elongated. So an elongated wallet is very auspicious. The same thing is with your hongbao. The Chinese red envelopes, there are different sizes from large ones to small ones. I generally gravitate to the large ones because I could put a nice $5 bill, a $1 bill in there with a Chinese coin, and I'm not folding the money. In the smaller hongbao, I usually put the chocolate coins or a Chinese coin and giving that as offerings. There are many traditions when it comes to giving your hongbao, in respecting by greeting the individual that you are giving the hongbao to with 2 hands. Also, hierarchy is very important in the traditional Asian culture. We generally always say the hongbaos are for little kids or for single people. But more importantly, the hongbao is also very good for elderly. So your parents, your grandparents, those are the individuals where you should be greeting and giving a hongbao first thing when it comes to the eve of Chinese New Year or on the Lunar New Year day. Traditionally, we always have different hongbaos in our wallets or purses or bags so that when we go to the temple, we go see family, we have them readily available. The value of how much you put in here is not that significant, but if you really want to empower the value of number, I always say 9 is a good number. So being Canadian, you can put 9 pennies. In the US, we don't have pennies anymore. But you can put $9. You could put a mix of money, Chinese coin, and equaling that to 9. The one tip that I'm also going to share with you, which I share with a lot of my clients, when it comes to the Lunar New Year, the hongbao is very auspicious. It's even more auspicious when you place them in vases. In Chinese culture, vases, whether it be porcelain, ceramic, wood, whatever that material is, and you place a hongbao with 9 coins, $9 into that vase, it's also boosting the energy of prosperity. When we were getting ready for 2025, we went around to all of our vases, collect all of our hongbaos. I put hongbaos everywhere. So I think we collected $88. And it was very auspicious last year that we put 88, of these envelopes through our house. This year, it's 99. And certainly making sure that we have the right denominations in our hongbao in different areas. In my previous video, I also said underneath a new mat in front of your door, you place a hongbao, $3, 3 coins, $9, whatever your preference is. When people are going to your front door, they step on it. By stepping on the hongbao, we are activating the energy of prosperity, good luck, and they're stepping foot into your home. It's a very hidden way of disguising feng shui technique without anybody seeing it. So a client of mine who is not into Asian practices or wants anything Asian in their home, this underneath their mat is going to boost the prosperity chi and the 9 prosperity star, depending on BTB or classical feng shui and whatever that cardinal direction is for your home. Now, watching lion dances, having red decor spread out through your house ties to the historical understanding of Lunar New Year. So you hear a lot about dragon dances. So tonight, our family is going to go to the Buddhist temple. Before we leave our house, we are going to play loud Chinese music with dragon dance using my Alexa. I'm going to plug my Alexa in front of my home, play that. So when we leave our house, it is energizing our front door. It is energizing our home. When we return, we're walking into our home with the music already playing. Setting off fireworks is not something we're going to do, but back in China, Asia, there's lots of opportunities to do fireworks. If you have the right home, the right space, I welcome you to do that. That's going to bring in wealth of prosperity. In replace of that, my Alexa is going to do. Again, feng shui is about your internal belief. It is what is symbolic, what resonates with you. Just because Harry, YourChiWiz, told you to do so, sometimes it's not the right thing to do. Rely on your intuition. That's what the snake is telling you this year. Do what your gut is telling you. Don't have a light ear. Do your research. Be thorough in understanding the why behind the things and the actions that you do. Now, I've already started talking about this because I'm so passionate about this. I've given away some of the information already on this slide. These are my personal favorite things that I love to do every year. The front door is the mouth of the chi. We talked about the mat, putting the red Lisi envelope. Make sure it's well lit. I changed my light bulb to be a red light bulb because northwest is my facing door this year and every other year. So this year in Feng Shui Flying Star, northwest is not a prosperous area. So adding the red light, making sure that the door is working, making sure that it's clean, nothing is broken. We repainted our front door this year. It's red. Red itself is going to reflect back all of that negative energy. I also put a mirror bagua map. And the mirror bagua is an octagon shape that hangs in front of my door. There are so many different cool ones now versus the old traditional one. Protecting good health and good wealth. That is the center of your home. We really want to make sure that the center of your home is clutter free. Nothing there is blocking it. You could place a Buddha or a Buddha statue on a table. If it's in the middle of your home, that is going to help. A bowl of 9 tangerines, a bowl mix of citrus, lemons, lime, and tangerines is also very auspicious. Now, wealth areas are the southeast sector, the far left corner of your home when you're walking in from the front door or from the front door of a particular room. It's also the north area. So when I practice feng shui, the north area is tied to career. If you don't have a good career, you're not making any money. I'm being honest with you. So you want money, you want prosperity, you want opportunity, you want abundance. Protect the southeast, protect the north areas of your home. But again, rely on a feng shui practitioner to really decode all of the areas based on your floor plan. Bring nature into your home. I love flowers. On my altar table, I did a post yesterday. Daisy is the flower this year for entrepreneurs who are male and female. If you're male, like myself out there, 7 daisies. If you're a female entrepreneur, 9 daisies. You put that on your altar table. You put that in the southeast corner, the north area, in the new year lunar day today, which is the eve, tomorrow being the day. Let it last throughout the month, however long that fresh flower will work. Again, there's different perspectives. I truly believe fresh flowers are the way to go in bringing nature into your home. If you don't like flowers, think about feng shui plants, from ZZ plants to bamboo to money trees to pathos. All of those are great feng shui plants. People always say, what about artificial plants? I love them too, right? Because artificial plants for me adds to color, right? So I'm going to balance a room, balance a space with a little bit of artificial, a little bit of real, right? A little bit, it's all about balance. The next important thing is really decoding Chinese astrology, understanding who are the animals that are your allies, your secret friends, and the ones that are in conflict. Traditionally, in our culture, in the Vietnamese culture, it is also very symbolic as the first person who steps into your home on Chinese New Year Day. So it's at midnight, the eve, we switch over to the New Year's Day. So now I'm connecting the pieces for you. Why my family leaves to go to the Buddhist temple on the eve, and then when we return, we're coming back on a New Year Day, right? It's the one night I let my kids stay up late. They'll struggle tomorrow in school by waking up, but it's auspicious energy for their zodiac animal, for my home, and for my family. So, looking at all of the Chinese zodiacs in my home, which is the animal that is most auspicious that's going to walk through that door? Now, if you don't have enough people in your home and you don't have an auspicious animal in your home, look to your friends, look at to your extended family, your aunts, your uncle, invite them over so that they would be the first person energizing your home by bringing the energy of their zodiac animal into your home. When we decode Chinese astrology, it helps us understand your Bazi chart, the four pillars of destiny. It helps us pick auspicious days for people who are in business, looking to have a grand opening, starting a new business, signing a contract, getting a haircut. I'm also auspicious with that. Again, I told you today's the rooster day. The reason why I'm doing this live is because my rooster is the secret friend and I am that of the dragon. I am presenting in the snake hour. I did my prayers in the dragon hours. I'm religious when it comes to feng shui, Chinese astrology. Now, the last thing is about cures and enhancer. You will see in the feng shui report all of the flying star for the year based on its cardinal directions, based on its energy, based on its supporting elements. I always want to make sure that the Grand Duke or the Tai Su, the three Sha or the three killings, and the yearly breaker, which is the Sui Po, is always protected. They change every year based on the year, the element, as well as the direction. So we're going to dissect this further, but I also want to make sure that all of you who thankfully have joined today will get all the right information that you'll need. Now, Chinese Zodiac, we talked a lot about that, from the rat to the ox, the tiger, the rabbit, the dragon, snake, horse, goat, monkey, rooster, dog, and pig. They shape the personality. But remember, feng shui is complicated depending on the element itself. It may influence the character and the personality of that zodiac animal. I'm a fire dragon. I am hot tempered. I am very ambitious. I am working 10 projects in my head at one time. I'm very fast paced. But now a water dragon or wood dragon or an earth dragon or a metal dragon will have different personalities. It's tied to the element and how much that is influenced. And now I'm not saying sociology and, interactions with religion and, how you grow up is not a factor. They all play a factor. But the importance of understanding the root of your Chinese zodiac animal has an influence over your personality, the way you act, the way you are. So decode, understand your Chinese zodiac and element so that you can be strategic in the year of the snake to prioritize your vision board, your intentions, your affirmations, as well as your goals. Now, I'm going to break down all of the negative areas. Again, this is all in the Feng Shui Year of the Wood Snake report. But the Tai Su, which is also known as the Grand Duke, it is the ruling energy for the year. You never want to be facing the Tai Su or the Grand Duke. And like I mentioned, this year it's in the southeast corner. Now, let me go back here for you. Take a snippet of this, or I'm sorry, you will also get a copy of this on the website. The Grand Duke is only in the southeast 3 direction. I had somebody who commented on one of my YouTube's video about their Tai Su in the washroom. My question to her was, which southeast direction is there? Every direction has southeast 1, southeast 2, southeast 3. So the Grand Duke is only at the 142 to the 157 degree. If that washroom was directly in that cardinal direction, then we will definitely need to do a remedy, a cure, or strategies of understanding the floor plan of that home. Maybe that's not the washroom that we're going to use this year, right? So it's very particular when we think about feng shui and where the positioning of all of these negative influences are. So again, with the Grand Duke, you want to appease it by doing an offering. So if you have a southeast area, for me this year, the southeast 3 area is my backyard, but it is a section that is in the middle of my wall. And guess what? That's where I have my altar table. I have my Kuan Yin. I have my Grand Duke, Tai Su. There, we're doing some peace offerings with, symbolic food, symbolic pastries, flowers, water, everything to really balance out the 5 element. Now, moving into the 3 Sha, which is the 3 killings, right? You'd never want to have any digging, loud noise, remodeling. If that is a space that you entertain a lot, you really want to limit the use of that area this year in the year of the snake. Facing that area, if your office is facing that area, you're sitting there and you're facing the 3 killings, that is also not auspicious. And then the yearly breaker, which is the direction that is opposite to the Tai Su, is the year breaker Supo, right? And you want to be very sensitive to this area. You want to keep this area dark, quiet, so that there's no disruption. So I've already told you that my front door northwest was not auspicious because that is the year breaker. And that's why I put all the remedies that I put this year only to appease the year breaker, to reflect negative chi or energy, and to protect. Right beside the northwest, I have my north, which is the right garden. And that's where I put a waterfall. That waterfall is going to boost the energy of career. It has the water element. It has the sound of water. Feng Shui is very intuitive, not just how it looks. It's about how it feels. And it's also about how it interacts with nature or with the space that you have. Other quick remedies, and unfortunately, these are 2 of the remedies are very Asian centric: a piao or a qilin. A piao is a winged lion or with horns, whereas a qilin is a dragon horse in one body. You can place both of those in your Tai Su 3 killings or the Su Po. In front of my house, I have 2 fu dogs. Fu dog is a version of the qilin or the piao. And this year we added a red bow. Thank God Christmas just passed over. So we have a lot of red ribbons. A red bow around each of those lions are very symbolic. The other thing that you could really think about doing is a saltwater cure. One of my group chats yesterday, we were asking for all the direction of the saltwater cure, where you need to place them, and then how do you make that. Visit fengshuijourney.com. I'll have more information there, my YouTube channel as well. But basically, the saltwater cure is a jar of salt water. I use pink Himalayan salt. You could also just use regular salt. I use my Chinese coins that I put in there. I tie a red bow in the negative areas of your home where you need to put a saltwater cure. When it's placed properly, over time, you will see the foaming of the salt around the rim. You know it's doing its job. that means that area is pulling so much negative chi. Now, if you have a negative area and it is the restroom, the bathroom in your home, I normally don't put a saltwater cure in a bathroom. One, there's so much water already in a bathroom. And if you have a shower in there, so much water, it's going to help cure that space without a saltwater cure. By adding more water to it, it is not going to help. It is actually going to be more harmful. Instead, in my homes, when my friends come over, they'll see, I generally always have a candle for fire. I have a bamboo or a money tree to balance out the wood, the earth, and depending on what vase I have, it could be the metal. And then the water itself is all the water that is consumed and flush in a washroom. So that's why I usually don't put a saltwater cure. But again, a saltwater cure, if my bedroom is a negative area, I may put that saltwater cure underneath my bed, beside my bed, in a corner of my room, depending on the layout of that bedroom, really locating the right area to really properly put the saltwater cure. The biggest, cheapest, frugal way to cure any of this is no lights, keep it dark, don't use the space, don't use the room. No noise. That means no interactions, no talking, no TV in there. Keep it quiet, undisruptive, no digging, no construction, no remodeling. Wait until the next year. And even better, if that's a room that you don't use, close the door. You're locking in that negativity. You're locking in that negative chi in that space. Now, to all of my single zodiac animals out there, I also want to do a plug for you on this. I'm giving you a little high level of this because I'm also going to prelude February's live session. For those who are single, for those who are married, you want to enhance peach blossom, you want to boost that romantic chi, that romance chi, you can do that through Chinese astrology. Peach blossom animal is the terminology that you'll see online and you hear other practitioners use. Every zodiac animal has a peach blossom animal. And that peach blossom animal has a certain direction. So I have a client out in Amsterdam. I think she's on here. Call out to her. I know her Chinese zodiac sign. I know what peach blossom animal she needs. And we'll place that peach blossom in the most auspicious space. And that space is tied to the zodiac animal. So if you look to the far right here, if we're looking at the ox, rooster, and snake, the peach blossom animal is a horse. You can go and get a figurine of a horse. You can get a painting of a horse. You can have a Lego of a horse, whatever it is. If it is a horse, you're going to put that in the south sector of your home, more importantly, of your bedroom. So if this is my bedroom, I'm looking for love, looking for a relationship, I'm going to place that south sector a horse. Whatever I choose that horse is, that's the way to activate the chi for peach blossom, for love and romance. Now be careful. I say this with big caution. If you're not looking to boost that love chi and you are happy in a relationship, in marriage, whatever that is, do not activate the peach blossom. You're going to welcome a third. You're going to welcome interruptions into your love life, into your relationship. It's powerful. There are many different things that you can do. In addition to the Chinese zodiac animal itself, you can put fresh flowers. You could put water elements, many different things that you can really place to activate that. So take a look at that. Rabbit, sheep, and pig. Your peach blossom animal is the rat, and that's in the north sector. So the cardinal directions are north, south, west, east, tied to a peach blossom zodiac animal for each three animals. Complicated. There's your cheat sheet. Have any questions, please reach out to me, harry@fengshuijourney.com, and I'm more than happy to give you some guidance on that. Now, getting back to all of you in trying to prepare for the Lunar New Year, there are so many traditional foods, right? What they are, how you prepare them, how you place them, how you eat them. You know, dumplings, they represent and they look like ingots. This is an ingot that I have on my desk representing money, wealth, prosperity. Three of this in front of you, three of that in an auspicious area is going to boost the chi for wealth, money, and prosperity. Eating dumplings on the eve, throughout New Year's Day, throughout the week is very auspicious. Fish is the same thing. Thank God, because I love sushi. It represents abundance. Sticky rice, you know, representing growth. Tangerines and oranges represent luck. Another item that's not here are noodles. Noodles, the long stem noodles represent longevity. You know, so the older people eating noodles, younger people blessing for a long life. So really making sure whatever you're consuming on Chinese New Year Day and throughout the week, however long you celebrate Chinese New Year. If I was back at home, I would be celebrating Chinese New Year for the whole month. But here, I'm going to try to do it for 2 weeks, right? So trying to eat all my auspicious food. And again, tonight, wherever it is you are, before midnight, you want to make sure you cut your hair, you wash your car, you clean your house, you vacuum, you mop everything. And starting tomorrow, for the first few days, you're going to rely on your dishwasher. Everything that you're going to eat, you're going to put in the dishwasher. You do not want to be washing dishes on the first day of the new year. You do not want to be cooking so that you are prone to an accident by using a sharp knife, cutting a vegetable, making a cut. You do not want to get sick. You do not want to take medication unless you really need to take medication. If you have a headache, drink orange juice, drink water or whatever. Don't drop a Tylenol. Things like that is setting the stage for the new year for 365 days until we welcome the year of the horse in 2026. Everything you do is setting the stage for the year. That's why in the Asian culture, you never borrow money at a bank from friends or anybody like that for the year, because it's going to bring you in debt all year long. You don't want to eat congee. Congee is a poor man's food. You don't want to be poor on the first day. You want to eat auspicious food. You want to wear auspicious color tied to your zodiac, tied to the lunar tradition of orange and red. You want to have flowers in your home, yellow mums, roses, daisies, whatever those plants are. You know, you're welcoming all of that energy, that positive chi into your home, into your life for the next 365 days. Now, the spirit of Chinese New Year is about family, you know, family unity, doing everything with your family, whether it be going to church, going to a Buddhist temple, you know, writing your intentions, letting it go up in the air, having a tree of intentions. So many different symbolic things that you can do. Now there are like different fortune cookie games. There's craft that you can build your own Legos. You know, my kids built me two Chinese New Year Legos that is placed in my office. So many things. It's about spending time with your families and friends, right? It's your network. Who is most important? Who's most influential for you in the upcoming year for the year of the greenwood snake? Now, there's a lot of information. I know we are like 12 minutes left into this live. I really appreciate all of your time and energy. It means a lot to me. I also want to make sure that I spread the spirit of positive, good chi, of good health. If you don't have your health, you can't have wealth, happiness, and abundance. Always think about philanthropy, giving back, whether it be to society, giving back to others by mentoring them, by teaching, spreading the love and the word of Feng Shui is also going to be very auspicious for you. Practicing it is also going to take it to the next level. Rely on symbolism, rely on traditions, rely on what resonates with you. I have a term, I call it fast food feng shui. Whatever you read on the internet, It may work, it may not work, but will it work for you? Does the energy work for you? I have a group of ladies in my IFSG, and an International Feng Shui Guild. I call ourselves the Three Amigas, and we talk about Feng Shui being out of the box. Feng Shui dates back many, 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 many years. There are so many different beliefs and practices for this. I'll call out to my great friend Cynthia, who is also a Feng Shui practitioner in the healing space. It's about Feng Shui out of the box, doing what's right, that's good for your mind, body, and soul. There's not one way of doing Feng Shui. There are many different ways. Listen, be observant, be strategic. It's about the year of the green wood snake. How do we energize that energy of that snake to be more strategic in what we do, to listen before we speak, to really shed our skin from bad habits, old habits that are not doing justice for us, decluttering our closet, decluttering our home, decluttering our phone and technology, and your contact list is also going to be healing for you. Join me March in my live session. When we get ready for the spring, we are going to talk about decluttering and different ways of bringing and welcoming new chi as you practice that. I mentioned this earlier. Every month we are going to go live. So continue to spread the love, share this information out. It's going to be very strategic, the snake, that we are going to talk about love, relationship, and romance. February 14th, it's a very commercialized, expensive day. But if you spend time with me at 12 p.m. Central Time, it's a new time, 12 p.m. Central Time on February 14th, we are going to decode everything to boost fertility, love, romance, relationship. It's not just for singles. Even if you are married in a relationship and you want to sustain that energy that's positive, you want to change anything, what can Feng Shui do? Swipe left on drama, Feng Shui your way to love and romance for a prosperous, loving 2025 with the year of the Greenwood Snake. And Kung Hee Fa Choi, Chúc Mừng Năm Mơ. Happy New Year to everybody who is watching, anybody who is going to see this. I really appreciate you all. Feel free to email me, harry@fengshuijourney.com. Give me a topic. I love to talk about Feng Shui and be more than happy to feature any other guests, anybody who wants to join our fengshuijourney.com live. Thank you again so much. We are going to make sure we capture all of your questions and share that out. The video as well as the presentation will be readily available for you on our website. And don't forget to take advantage of your promo, CNY 2025, so that you can take advantage of all the learning, spread the word, and most importantly, uncover your luck pillars for this year. We start February 4th as the first month of luck. Is it going to be auspicious? Is it going to be difficult? What should you expect? What can you do to really mitigate some of that negative chi and plan for a fruitful, highly energetic year of the Greenwood Snake? Thank you again so much for joining. I appreciate you all, and have a blessed, happy, healthy, successful year of the Greenwood Snake.